Okay, so today, as we deepen our relationship with our body, we're going to do some stretching. And maybe that sounds awful to you. Maybe that sounds good to you. Stretching used to sound really awful to me, actually. It sounded like boring and like painful. And then at a certain point, it sounded just the opposite. It sounded like, ooh, we're going to get to do easy stuff or like relax or pamper ourselves. And so, where do you sit with that? That already tells you some information. But the reason that we're going to be stretching is just in the effort to get to know our body more and deepen our relationship with it and really try a lot of different stretches. It doesn't have to be yoga. You don't have to watch like some yoga video that tells you what to stretch. Although if you feel like totally at a loss, like I don't know what to stretch and how, okay, use that as a fallback if you want. But really, it could just be kind of intuitive. Just try to stretch a bunch of stuff. Move around, see what happens. But you're trying to find places that you're tight and places that you're loose, and just think about those, okay? Just almost map them out. It's just getting to know your body just the way that you would get to know a person. What do they like? What do they don't like? And it's just the same thing, okay? Is my body tight here, loose here? And play around with any significance to that you might like. For example, if it's tight in the shoulders, do I carry a lot on my shoulders all the time? Do I carry my tension there? Of course, that's a question that we ask ourselves, but am I carrying a lot on my back? Do I burden myself in that whole weight of the world on your shoulders way? Or I've definitely heard people talking about the forward bending postures, meaning like if you can bend over and touch your toes, back of your hamstrings are really tight or whatever, that might mean that you have difficulty surrendering, because those are like surrendering postures. And the backward bending ones are supposed to be like enlivening or powerful, kind of, I can grab my energy and put it forward. And so if the backward bending stuff is really hard for you, do you have trouble, grabbing your energy and putting it forward when you need to? And, like I always say, toss it. If it's like, no, that's not the case, you just toss it. I mean, these are just questions to ask and consider as we deepen our relationship with our body. And when you find a place that's tight, how does it feel? Does it feel like you're willing to stay there? Does it feel good to kind of stretch it out? Or does it feel awful, like pain and panic and like, I want to get out of this. This is miserable. And that tells you information too. I mean, is, stretching your limits or stretching your boundaries or growing and expanding yourself something that puts you in that similar place of panic and that is miserable for you? And so then back off a little, like do it a little easier. See if you can find a place that's not miserable. Or do you overstretch? Like, are you going too far with it? Are you like getting it to a place where it's like, oh my God, I'm hurting myself now? Or, push yourself too hard to where the fun is lost. And is that how you treat, stretching your own personal limits and your own personal growth? So there's a lot that we can find out just about us from our bodies. But really, this is, so you can find out all that bonus stuff and you can ask yourself all that bonus stuff. And that is just a bonus. But really, we're just kind of getting to know our body and feeling what it's like to be in our bodies. Sometimes we go a whole week without feeling that sensation of stretch because it's a certain sensation where, like, oh, something's tight, and then you stretch into it and it activates and makes that particular part of your body come alive. So sometimes we go far too long without even feeling that aliveness in certain spots in our body. So we're just stretching around to hit all those spots and, wake it up. Shake it up.